What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Cozy coming at you with our deck tech for the first time in OP17. We're dropping a list, and this one is going to be for rocks. Now, normally I would just do we're going to show physical cards and things like that, but for two specific reasons why we're not doing it today. One, it's OP17, so all of these cards are not out yet, so they're printed. Didn't really like the print quality of them. But number two, I'm in the middle of reorganizing my space that I have for recording, for doing work and things like that. And I just don't have the space to really show you physical cards right now. So we're going to hop over on the sim and we're going to take a look at what I've been currently running for Xebec. And I'll catch you guys in just a minute. Welcome into the deck list, you guys. Now, normally I would show you guys like the 2Ks, then we go to characters, then we do events and stages if we run any. But fun fact, Rocks has no counters. So we're just going to kind of go through the whole list and run through it. I've been experimenting with ratios and things like that. This is the list that I've had the most success with going into practicing with OP17. So for those who don't know what Rocks does, Rocks is a mono blue 5 life, 5,000 power leader with the slash attribute because it had to lose to Mihawk. But when attacking, we can trash one card from our hand, reveal the top card of our deck, and if the revealed card is a Rocks Pirates type, we draw 2. So essentially what we did is this entire deck is Rocks Tribal. So every single card in here is a Rocks Pirate card. So we are drawing 2 every single turn plus our draw. So essentially we're drawing 3 cards every turn. The downside, every single card in here is a brick in hand, except for the 0 cost events, which we'll look at the end. But essentially this is more of like a toolboxy kit that I kind of liked. This deck is very, very pilot dependent. So if you're not very comfortable with learning risks and rewards in the One Piece card game, you're going to see a lot of challenges with this deck. But let's just go ahead and take a look, starting with our 1-drop. We are playing 4 copies of Strusen, which is a 1-cost 2,000 power no K counter. Fun fact, all these cards have no K counter, so I'm going to skip that going forward. So 1-drop 2,000 power. On play, we look at the top 2 cards of the deck, and we can put them back in any order at the top or the bottom, and then we draw 1. So essentially what this does is manipulating what we flip and what we draw off of rocks. So ideally you would play out the Strusen. You would look at the top 2, see what you're going to be drawing next turn, because usually you would play this on 1, but you could also play this on 2. It just depends. But usually on that first turn, you're going to see what you're drawing into, going into your 4-dawn or 3-dawn turn, depending on if you're going first or second. Fun fact, this list likes to go second. Pretty much the staple of One Piece with a lot of these big bodies, especially because this deck synergizes solely around the 10-drop rocks and just manipulating how you're going to get 9 cost worth of characters, so 19 Dawn value for 10 using rocks. So you're basically looking for the tools that you need to survive long enough so you can start stringing rocks Xebec across multiple turns to have big, tall characters swing out to close the game. Kyo is the 2-drop in the deck that I personally have fallen in love with. It has the 2-cost 4,000 power. It has the static effect of if one of your characters would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, we could just trash 2 cards from our hand instead with the on-play of drawing 1. So not only does it replace itself, but we draw so many cards as it is, we can go ahead and toss 2 of them to save something. So no Grav Blades, no Gloriosas, no Conquest of the Sea if you're playing in like a purple Big Mom Pirate or a purple Animal Kingdom. Whatever the case is, if it's getting removed by an effect, ain't going to happen with Kyo on board. And that's not once per turn, by the way. You could do this as many times as you want. You could ditch your whole hand and save your board. Don't recommend it, but it is something that you can do. At first, I thought this card was super baity, but I run 3 copies of Don Marlin in this. It's a 3-cost, 5,000 power character with the on-play effect of adding 1 blue event with a cost of 0 from trash to hand. So usually what I like to do when it's super cheesy and I don't have a 4-drop play, I'll counter out with one of the 0-cost events for a 2K counter. And then next turn, I'll play Don Marlin just to get that card back, so I get a free 2K out of it. but that's me just kind of being silly and fun with it. But it's also a really good character to swing with because it is 5,000, so you can poke your opponent, either their leader or their characters for it. So Don Marlin is a decent card in this list. I don't really see anything that would replace Don Marlin, in my personal opinion. I like it. It can be a super baity card, especially if you play it and you don't have a 0 cost in your trash. So it kind of doesn't really help out. But a lot of times too, I'll trash 1, maybe 2 of these at the most to leader effect, just so I can draw more cards. You know you got to play the 4 of the Miss Stussy. 3 cost, 5,000 power. On play, up to one of our opponent's characters with a base cost of 6 or less cannot attack until the end of our opponent's next end phase. And activate main, we can rest 3 Dawn and this character, and then up to one of our opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of our opponent's next end phase. So ideally what you could do is for 6 Dawn, right? If you don't have a 6 Dawn play, you can play Stussy, prevent a 6 cost from attacking, rest 3 Dawn and Stussy, and another character can't attack. So you could do it for 6 Dawn, where you stun 2 characters on your opponent's board from attacking you to kind of save you from kind of going through life cycles and things like that. This is one of the targets for the 10-drop rocks, so we'll go over some of the rocks options and combos that you can do when we look at rocks here in just a few minutes. I am running 4 copies of the Kaido, which is a 4-cost, 6,000 power blocker. On play, we can reveal 3 cards with a type including Rocks Pirates from our hand and give one of our opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. You could do this with the 10-drop rocks as well. It is another target. And you could do some power reduction so that way you can start clearing the board, as well as having this blocker up to continue saving your life and potentially a character just because you have this big blocker on board. A lot of people have been going back and forth with this one. I run 3 copies of Captain John. I think Captain John is a pretty cool card to have in this deck. It's a 4-cost, 6,000 power character with the static effect of if your leader's type includes Rocks Pirates and this character is rested, your opponent cannot attack any other card other than the character, Captain John. So basically, it's like the 8-drop green kid that Green Stalls was playing a whole long time ago. So like Bonnie, Green Bonnie, would be running kid. Who else was running kid back in the day? I know I did it in my Red Green Smoker list. Red Green Smoker would play the 8-drop kid, put a Dawn under it, rest it, and then you would have to attack into that kid. It's a bigger body. It was a 8,000 power character, I believe. And so this is basically the same thing. But John has an activated main effect. We can rest this character and then draw 1 trash 1. So you can go ahead and activate his static effect and make it live. I think this is a really cool thing because now they have to swing a little bit bigger, so they can't poke you. They have to swing 6K plus into Captain John first. So you could have some blockers like the Kaido and the Gloriosa and 2K counters in your hand. So you're whittling down your opponent's swings, and then you can just attack with John next turn and swing 6. Or if you need to filter your hand and you're trying to find the rocks, you can rest him to draw 1 trash 1 to continue finding rocks and try to find some other things in your toolkit that will help you secure the win and the game. Speaking of Gloriosa, I am running 4 copies of her. You gotta run 4 copies of Gloriosa for reasons. But other than that, she's a 4-cost, 1,000 power character with blocker. On play, we can place 1 character with a cost of 5 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So for 4 Dawn, we're bottom decking a 5-cost. So that could be a pesky blocker. That could be like Sanji and Red Green Luffy, Usopp and Red Green Luffy. That could be Odin, Perona. That could also be Smoker in Green Mihawk. That could be, I believe Yasop fits into this as well. I think Yasop's a 5-cost in both red and green Shanks. So we have a whole lot of targets that we can hit with the Gloriosa. And we can also hit things on our opponent's board with rocks as well, as long as they don't have Kyo. Like we could hit a Captain John, bottom deck it, and then we can continue our poke. So that is a good option. This is also a Roxy Xebec target. Looking at the 5 drops, we are running 4 copies of Linlin. Dude, I love Linlin. This card is so good and so broken. It's a 5-cost, 7,000 power character. On play, our opponent chooses one thing for us. we can either draw 2 cards or they have to trash 2 cards from their hand. A lot of times they're going to tell us to draw. So more resources, more tools to look at in the toolkit, things like that. On our opponent's attack, once per turn, however, we can trash a card from our hand and give our leader or character a 1k. So keep in mind, this effect activates before anything else. So our opponent will attack. If they have any when attacking effects, they will go first. Then we do on our opponent's attack. Then we go into blocker step, into counter step, into damage resolution, damage calculation. So all these bricks in our hand, right? All are now potential 1Ks with the Lin. Ideally, what I like to do is I like to play Lin on curve and then play another Lin. So have 2 Lins on board, just so that way, it was a 4-card advantage. 4, is it 4? It's technically 2 because you had to play the Lins. So it's technically a 2-card advantage, unless they discard, because then you're really getting extra value from that. But I like to have 2 Lins on board to get me 2 1Ks plus the 0-cost events. So we're pretty healthy when it comes to counters in this deck. And that doesn't include the other 2 characters we still have to look at before we get to rocks. All right, next up, we have the 6-drop, 8,000 power Edward Newgate. This is Young Man Whitebeard. And on play, we draw 1 card. And then once per turn, when your leader with a type including rocks, pirates, attacks, or is attacked, you may trash 1 card from your hand to activate this effect, and your leader gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. So how this would work is you would go ahead and swing with rocks. What I like to do first is I like to use the rocks effect of when attacking first, just so that way I can trash my card and draw 2 more to see what I can get rid of with the Newgate, because then our leader becomes an 8k swing and requires either 2 2Ks, it requires a big event, it requires extra cards in hand, or they're just going to take the life or remove the character if we swing into a body. So that's what I like about it. Additionally, we can pitch a card and we get a free 3K. So it's just like pitching a 0-cost, but cheaper, because not only are we not giving up the 0-cost event and a card in hand, we're just giving up 1 card in hand for the same effect. So I like having 2 Lins and a Newgate on board. That is a pretty solid like baseline for me in terms of like what I would like. If I get 1 Lin, 1 Newgate, I'm still okay and I'm still doing good, because your boy running 4 copies of Shiki, the 7-cost 9,000 power character that has rush character, and when attacking and on your opponent's attack, once per turn, we can trash 1 card, including the type of rocks, pirates from our hand, and then give one of our opponent's characters minus 3,000 power during this turn. So if they do swing into us with a big character, let's say they swing at us with a 12k, right? And we have Shiki and Newgate on board. So 12 into 5, right, is a huge number. Usually that's just an auto take. Well, what we can do is we can use Shiki, discard a card, give that 12k a minus 3. So now it's a 9 into 5. We then discard 1 with the Newgate to make our leader an 8k for the battle. So it's now 9 to 8. And then give up a 2k or give up a set of 1ks if we have multiple Lins on board. Like, there's just a whole lot we can do. But the Shiki's also really good because we can swing into a character, give it minus 3, and now we're looking at a 9k body swinging into something that is just ridiculous to have in blue, and kind of helps clean the board up. It helps us survive a little bit longer, things like that. Now we get into Big Daddy Rocks. So Rocks D. Xebec is a 10-cost, 12,000 power leader with the static effect. If you only have characters without a counter, this card in your hand gains plus 2,000 counter. So that's why we're running Rocks Tribal. All of our characters do not have counter, so he is a 2k in our hand at all times. So now we go from having no counter to having a lot of counter in this deck. But his on-play effect is absolutely broken. On play, we draw 1, and we play up to 2 Rocks Pirates type cards with different card names and a total of 9 or less from our hand. So if they ever print an 8-cost Rocks Pirate card, this deck instantly becomes broken. But That's my own personal opinion. So how it would work is we play rocks, right? And so we draw one card. Great. Now we can play a combination of 2 characters with a cost of 9. So that could be, if you want to play Shiki, you would go Shiki Kyo or Shiki Strusen. If you wanted to play the Newgate, you could go Newgate into Don Marlin or Buckingham Stussy. If you want to play Linlin, you would go Linlin into anything that is under Linlin. So you can go Linlin Strusen, Linlin Kyo, Linlin Don Marlin, Linlin Stussy, Linlin Kaido, which is usually the option that you pick, Linlin Captain John, or Linlin Gloriosa. Like, what is this? So, like, we could play Linlin, force them to either trash 2 or give us 2, and we bottom deck something, or we force them to draw 2 trash 2, and then we draw 1 trash 1, and they have to swing into this. Or we can play Linlin and Kaido to give a power reduction and just swing into it with other things. We could play Newgate to draw and make our leader an 8k for a swing, and play Stussy to stun something. Like, that's wild to me that this card exists the way that it does, but I'm for it. Like, I'm playing rocks. I want to play rocks so bad in this format. Like, honestly, I want to play every single leader in OP17 at some point. Like, the yellow Linlin is at the bottom of that list for me, but like all of these leaders I want to play because they all look super fun to do, and rocks was the reason why I wanted to play this deck the most. Looking at our events, we are running 4 copies of There's No Authority in the World That Lasts Forever. It is a 0-cost event with the main effect of you may rest 1 of your Dawn cards, and up to 1 of your Rocks D Xebec gain unblockable during the turn. And then the counter event to it is up to 1 of your leaders, or 1 of your leaders, including the type of Rocks Pirates, or up to 1 of your characters with the type including Rocks Pirates, gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. So it's just a free 2k. The other one is Rocks Pirates, which is a 0-cost event that has the main of you may rest 5 of your Dawn cards, return up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less to the owner's hand. So it's a 5-cost bounce, essentially. So you could be bouncing things that are a little bit pesky for you to deal with. So like Captain John, if you were playing in the mirror, or the Perona because you don't want to swing into it. You could bounce a blocker. You could bounce a damage mitigator. You could do whatever you want with 5 Dawn, but it also has the same counter effect of 1 leader or character, including Rocks Pirates, gains 2k. So essentially, this list is kind of cooking right now. I love it, and I can't wait to see what else it can do. But this is my rocks list, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But more importantly, this is going to be the first deck that we looked at in OP17. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments down below. I respond to every single comment that comes through. And so if you found this video enjoyable, if you found some insight into it, or you just like playing rocks, let me know by liking this video, subscribing to the channel because it's entirely free to do. Not a whole lot to be done, but it helps the channel out a ton. And make sure you ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next upload. We are on our way to 500 subscribers right now. Once we hit that 500, 3 lucky winners out of those 500 are winning a brand new OP17 Alt Art Proxy Leader set and some Cozy Games merch. So make sure that you are subscribed before the 500 mark so you can get your chance to win. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love, Nakama.
Thanks for riding with the vibe. Cozy games every time. Pulling leaders, making plays on the line. Sailing through the grand line. Strategy refined. Catch your next match, stay